So yesterday we have seen about the where class or where condition, right? So how do we fetch the data? One second. Okay, how do we use where conditional, right? So today we are going to discuss about arithmetic operators and logical operators. Not arithmetic, comparison operators and logical operators. Okay. What are the comparison operators that we have? Equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to, between, not between, in, not in, null, not null, like operators. These are all the comparison operators that we have. Okay. Now, so we have this table. Okay. So we have a student table. So select star, when I put select star from student, I'm going to get only, I'm going to get all the data from the table. Right? Now, so these operators which we are going to use it, right? So these will be for the condition purpose. All of the operators we are going to use them in the where class. Okay, where mark greater than equal to, let's say first equal to operator mark equal to 75. So do you have any data with 75? We don't have any data. So equal to operator is going to look for exact match. Equal to operator is going to look for exact match. If any record is going to satisfying that matching condition, then it will display the data. If not, it is not going to display the data. Let's say I'm going to give 80. I have one record with mark as 80. So equal to operator, all you have to understand here is equal to operator is going to give us the data only for the exact matching values. Okay, mark greater than 80. So it is going to look for the condition where is there any record with mark as 80, greater than 80. Okay, less than 80. So is there any record with less than 80? So what are the total number of records? These are the total number of records. Let me pin it. Now mark less than 80. So in this total result, how many records are there with less than 80? One record, right? Less than 80, there is only one record. So that is the output of the SQL statement. Not equal to 80. So in the total records, how many records are not equal to 80? There are two records with not equal to 80. So this is the output. When I execute where condition, marks not equal to 80. So not equal to, either we can use like this, less than and greater than, or we can use like this. Exclamatory equal to. So this is also will combination of these two is also we'll call it as not equal to. Okay, any questions? Any doubts? Any questions? Understood? Say yes or no. Guys, able to hear me? Guys, able to hear me or not?
Yes, sir.
Able to understand any
Yeah, I
questions?
understand.
Yes, yes.
No questions.
Okay. So these are all the first level of first set of comparison operators. Okay. And all of them are going to use it in the where condition. Even all other comparison operators also, we are going to use them in a where condition only. Okay. So because when we get into real time, so in real time, we'll be having millions of data in the tables. Okay. And different countries data will be there, different states data will be there, different subject areas data will be there. Okay. Different departments data will be there. When we have, but when we wanted to load the data into a target table, we might need to put certain filters. Okay, so business says that so just load only these records with which is satisfying this condition. So at that time you should know how do you write a condition. So which kind of operator that you have to use to restrict this kind of data, right? Sometimes business says that I just wanted to get only the data which is 2024. That time what we have to do, where the data is greater than or equal to 2024. Okay, I don't want the 2024 data at all. Just put less than or less than or equal to. Okay. So here also, like I'm taking very simple examples so that you guys will be understanding these simple things. Okay, first, see, end of the day, all you have to understand here is what is the comparison operator, how exactly that we are going to use in the SQL development. What is the purpose of it? Okay. Now, when we use greater than or equal to, all the values which are greater than and also equal to. These are the two records which are satisfying this condition. So those two records are coming as an output. In the same way, when we put less than or equal to, how many records that we have? Less than is one record and equal to is one more record. There are two operators here. Less than is one operator, equal to is one operator. So, which is going to give the records which are satisfying with the both conditions, both operators. Okay. And the next is between 75 and 85. So I wanted to get all the students' information which marks are between 75 and 85. How many records are there between 75 and 85? And including 75 and 85 also we'll get the data. Including 75 and 85 data also we will get it. So how many records are there in between? Two records. Right? So here, how many records that we have? Two records. Because uh, between means above this number and below this number, including this. So the values which are greater than or equal to 75 and less than or equal to 85. Okay. The same thing that we can write even in like this also. Okay. The same thing that we can write like this also. Greater than or equal to 75 and mark less than or equal to 85. So that means I wanted the values which are greater than 75, greater than or equal to 75, and less than or equal to 85. Even this also is going to give the same result. Okay. Either if even if I execute this select statement is also is going to give the same data because both are same only. But the way how we are going to write is different. So whenever we get any kind of requirement, so for that requirement, how exactly that we have to write the SQL statement. So that is what is we have to understand. Okay, so because for every scenario where we'll be having hundreds of different syntaxes. Every person will be having their own understanding. Okay. So sometimes when we have some knowledge, okay, we'll be fighting. When we don't have any knowledge, whatever the other people says that we will have to follow. Right? Whatever the other people says that we will have to follow. So why do we need to follow other people? So as long as we have the subject, so we can fight. But the way how you are telling is a different way. But so even this is also a correct way. So sometimes what people says that so you will be writing in a correct way, but the other people says that no, this is not the right way. This is that you have to use it. So that time what we should do when we have subject, we will not be getting any doubts. We'll clearly explain them that was this is also one of the way which I have executed this SQL statement. I got the exact result what is required. Okay, so that is the reason. So you should be very much familiar about the different syntaxes. Okay, so this is about between and not between. So not between means including this, I mean excluding these two records also it is going to. It will give us the data by excluding these two records also. Even though we have the record of 85, we are not going to get in the output when we are going to execute because not between is going to work exactly opposite to between. Means so whatever the records which are coming when we use between, so the remaining records will come when we use not between. Okay, so next is in operator. So, for example, when we use equal to operator, we can use only one condition. We can use only one value. We cannot use multiple values. So, when we wanted to use two, three values in a single equal to, we have to use in operator. In 80, comma 85. It is going to give 80, 85 or in 70 and 85. Okay, it is going to give only the matching, exact matching values it is going to give. So if the 70 is having an exact match, 85 is having exact match, it is going to give only matching values in operator. So the other way of writing in operator is where mark equal to 70 or mark equal to 85. So what is the difference between and or operators? And operator is going to give the exact match. Okay, like both the conditions should satisfy. Then only it will give the data. Or operator is going to give if any one of the record is having a match. Like if any one of the condition is having a match. Either this condition should satisfy or this condition should satisfy. If any one of the conditions satisfies, then it is going to give the data. So replacement of in operator is or operator. Okay, so either we can use in operator or we can use or operator. Okay, or is going to give, it is going to exactly match. Either this condition should match or this condition should match. If any one of the condition match, it is going to give us the data. Okay, any one of the condition matches, then it is going to give the data. Or if I put 80 or 85, so it is going to give only the records with 80 or 85. So in operator is going to use whenever we wanted to have multiple match values, then we are going to use in operator. Or if at all we wanted with equal to operator only, when we use equal to operator, when we give multiple values, it is going to throw the error, because this operator must be followed by any or none, any or all, because we cannot directly use equal to operator for giving multiple conditions. So when we use equal to, we should also give any. Equal to any, when we give, it is going to give this data. Okay, now for one scenario, we can write these three ways: in operator, or equal to any, or by using or operator. All three operators, all three SQLs is going to give the same result. Okay, so when we get any kind of requirements, so we need to think of what are the different options or different ways where we can write a single requirement. So these are the three different ways for in operators. And we do also have nothing. So how many records are there in the table? 3 records are there in the table. Now what I'm giving, not in 70, 85. That means I don't want 70 and 85. What is left? This 80 record is left. So that record is coming as an object. Okay, so this is how we are going to use in operators. In, not in, between, not between. Okay, any questions here? Anyone having any questions?
No, bro.
Everything is clear?
Yes, bro.
Others?
This is
Fine. So, and next is null and not null. See, basically, whenever in the yesterday session also, right, which we have seen that, so whenever we add any new column in the table, it is going to have the record with null values, right? At the table, student, and now when I execute select star from student, it is going to give null values. Now all the subjects are having null values, right? Let's say select star from student. So now let us forget about these two. Forget about these two. Now we have a table. In this table, I have subject field, which is having one record is having subject mentioned, the other records are having null values. Now, so when you get into real time, so this null and not null are going to play a major role. Okay, one of the major role, because so for every columns, right? So for every column or majority of the majority of the columns, so whenever they have null value, that means it is an invalid record. So business will think that that is an invalid record. I don't want to load that. So even when we consider this table also, I have marks, I have name, student name. but for which subject this marks is belonging to. If you don't know the subject, what is the value of this mark? Right? If you don't know the subject, then what is the value for this mark? So we here in this regard we understand. So this for this student we have got 85 marks in math subject, but for this 70 and 80 for which subject? We have 6 subjects. In which subject this student got this marks? This is an invalid record, right? In real time also this is going to happen. Okay, so there will be some kind of mandatory fields which people says. So if at all any mandatory field when business says, so for that mandatory field if you don't have any value, then I don't want to load this data. I don't want to load that records. For that, what we have to do is we have to put a condition where subject is not null. So this is the syntax. So whenever I wanted to get only the not null values, or whenever I wanted to filter out all the null values and I wanted to get only the not null values, then we are going to use this line. We are going to use the condition like this, where the column name is not null. That means it is going to give the values with only not null. Okay, we got only the record is 85 because other subjects, the other two subjects are null values. Or when we wanted to get, I wanted to see which are the null values, how many records are there, and which records are having null value. Then where subject is null, so I'll be getting only the records with null value. This is one of the key in real time. Okay, so whenever we have any null values in a particular column, we can use is null to display the only null values. We need to use not null. We need to use is not null to display all the not null values. Okay. Okay. So this is about null and not null. So whenever we wanted to filter out any null values, we have to use is not null. Whenever we wanted to fetch only the null values, we have to use is null. Is null, is not null. Okay. And next operator is like operator. Okay. So like operator is going to be used to fetch the records based on certain patterns. Okay, based on certain patterns. Let's say I wanted all the student names starting with B, like B percentile. That means first letter should be B and the rest of the characters can be anything. So in my student table, this is my student table. How many records with how many values are starting with B? It is going to give all the data. So B percentile. That means all the records whenever I wanted to fetch based on certain pattern, all the matching data, we are going to use like operator. So I wanted all the names are starting with B, then we are going to use B percentile. Okay. Or whenever I wanted to get all the data where the value is ending with E, I don't have any records with the name is ending with E. Okay. Let's say I am going to keep I. I wanted all the records with percentile I, means the last record should be I and before the records can be anything. last record should be I, and before records can be, before values can be anything. So that we'll call it, for that, we're going to use the syntax like this. Okay, percentile, yes, percentile means in the entire record, wherever S is present, at least any one place where S should be present. Okay, so in Bhaskar we have in middle, in Soma we have at the starting, in Kishi again we have in middle. That means if the value is having this character, it's going to display all of them. Let's say I'm going to keep H. See, H is there for 2 records. Okay, so these are kind of patterns. So whenever any records are satisfying with these patterns, we can use like this. Let's say, and not only one character, we can give 3-4 characters also. Let's say HA. Okay, so in the entire data, it is going to look for, do I have any record or any name which contains HA? Only one name is having HA. Like this, we are going to keep the filters. Okay, in real time, we are actively using this like operators. Okay, now underscore HA means first character can be anything, second character should be H, and the rest of the characters also can be anything. First character should be anything, second character should be H, and the rest of the characters can be anything. So here what is happening? Second character is H, first character can be anything. So when you are practicing, you have different sets of data and try to practice with different like more and more data, have 10, 20, 50 records, and you try to play with those 10, 50 records. Okay, underscore H percentile. So that means first character can be anything, the second character should be H, and the rest of the characters also can be anything. Okay, so like when I put, we can put 2 underscores A, means first and second characters can be anything, third character should be A. Here first and second character can be anything, the third character is A. I'll also have one more table. It was on table, but I'm not able to find it. That's fine. Okay, so this is how we are going to use the like operators. Okay, we have all the examples in the material defined for like operator. And logical operators we have seen, right? So whenever we use and between multiple conditions, so it is going to give the result when both the conditions satisfies. If any one condition does not satisfy, it is not going to give the result. Our condition is going to work at least if any one condition satisfies. We can use or between multiple conditions in a single where clause. Okay, so earlier we have seen, right, where mark equal to 70 or mark equal to 85, like that. So mark is 70 is one condition, mark is 85 is one more condition. So we can use this logical operators between multiple conditions. So when we use it in multiple conditions, if the value is satisfying, if any one of the value is satisfying, then it will give the data when we use OR operator. When we use AND operator, it is going to look for both the conditions should satisfy, then only it will give the data. Okay, So I think the not operator that we have seen, right? Not in, not equal to, not between. Okay. Yeah, I think these operators are enough for today. So tomorrow I'm going to explain about this all objects, all tab columns. Okay, the other stuff. Okay, fine. I'll upload this recording. Practice well. Let me know if I have any questions.